Messiah, God's Son, would come to earth, he would heal the sick and the blind. Our story begins with Jesus walking alongside one of his disciples. Listen to what happens next.
Alms, please. Ma'am, sir, do you have some alms for me? Thank you. Thank you. Alms, please. Give me some alms. Thank you. Alms, please. Please, give me some alms. I need some alms, please.
Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?
Neither him or his parents sinned, but the works of God was revealed unto him. I must work the work of the Father while it's day. When night comes, no one should work. As long I am in the world, I am the light of the world.
Speak a bit louder would be good. Aaron, can speak a bit louder would be good.
Later.
Jesus then spat on the ground and made clay with the sliver and anointed the eyes of the blind man with the clay.
It's a quick one, huh? You didn't go wash in the...
Yeah. Okay.
Go and wash in the pool of Siloam.
I think when you're down there, it's after you put already, you tell people. Okay. So the blind man went and washed his eyes in the pool of Siloam and came back. Okay.
No need to touch the water. Okay, okay.
I can see! Oh! I can see! I can see! I can see!
Is that he who said that? This is he.
Yes, I am he! I can see! Oh!
Is that he?
Yes, I am he! I am he! I was the blind man and now I can see!
Okay,
How were your eyes open?
how were your eyes open?
A man called Jesus made clay and anointed my eyes and said to me, go to the pool of Siloam and wash. So I went and washed and I received sight.
Where is he now?
I do not know.
Then the people brought the man who was healed from his blindness to the Pharisees who are in charge of the synagogue. The people brought him to the Pharisees because Jesus had made the mud and healed the man's eyes on the Sabbath. You see, the Pharisees didn't want Jesus doing good works on the Sabbath because they considered it to be working, and a good Jew wasn't supposed to work on the Sabbath. However, healing someone on the Sabbath wasn't work at all. It was a blessing for the blind man. Here, Gabriel, you have to take your time to walk because my narration here is quite long. Okay, so by the time I'm almost finishing, you're up here. Okay, Katie? Okay, so now you go out. Yeah. Yeah. No, when you see once Gabriel is here, you all have to come out already. You have to come out already. Okay? So now you're out there. You're out there already. Once you come out, you stop.
I am asking you once again, how did you receive your sight?
Jesus put clay on my eyes and I washed and I see.
I see. A man who did this must not be from God, because he does not obey the Sabbath law.
How can a man who sinned do such a sign?
So the Pharisees and the people didn't know what to think and argued with one another.
All of that?
Not yet. He's got another time.
You said he opened your eyes. We know that this man that opened your eyes is a sinner. What do you have to say about him?
He is a prophet.
The Pharisees and the people still did not believe that the man had been blind and had received his sight. So they sent for his parents.
Go get me his parents. Is this your son,
Yes.
whom you say he was born blind? How was it now that he can see?
We know that this is our son. He was born blind. What you mean he now see? We do not know. Who opened his eye? We do not know.
He is of age, ask him. He can speak for himself.
The man's parents gave such reply because they feared the Pharisees and the people, knowing that anyone who believed that Jesus was the Messiah would be put out of the synagogue. So once again the Pharisees angrily questioned the man who had been blind.
Promise before God that you are going to tell the truth. We know that this man that opened your eyes is a sinner.
Whether Jesus is a sinner or not, I do not know. But one thing I know, though I was blind, now I can see.
What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes?
I told you already, but you are not listening. Why you want to hear it again? Do you also want to become his disciple?
You are that fellow disciples, but we are Moses' disciples. We know that God spoke to Moses. But as for that fellow, however, we don't even know where he came from.
Why? This is a marvelous thing that you do not know where Jesus is from. Yet Jesus has opened my eyes. Now we know that God does not hear sinners. That if anyone is a worshipper of God and does God's will, God hears him. Since the world began, it has been unheard of that anyone who has opened the eyes of the one who was born blind. If this man were not from God, he can do nothing.
You were born and brought up in sin, and you are trying to teach us.
The blind man's answers just made the Pharisees so angry and furious, as they could not get him to talk against Jesus. As a result, they cast the blind man out of the synagogue. When Jesus heard that, the Pharisees had thrown. So I'm going to wait for you all to come out first. When Jesus heard that, the Pharisees had thrown the man out, he went to find him.
Do you believe in the Son of God?
Who is he, Lord, that I may believe in him?
Yes, you are looking and talking to him. It's me.
Oh Lord, I believe.
For the judgment I have came to this world. But for those who blind may see, but for those who see may be blind. For I am the light of the world. But those who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life.
In this story, the blind man chose to leave his spiritual darkness and place his faith in Jesus, who is the light. As a result, he could see more than the educated Jewish teachers and Pharisees. The end.
You have to wait for one or two bars, I got to join you.